Well, let's continue with the next company, and the name is First Mining Gold. Welcome on the stage.
Thank you very much. I'm Dan Wilton. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of First Mining Gold. We'll be walking through our presentation here, making a few forward-looking statements. First Mining Gold is advancing two of the largest undeveloped gold projects in Canada. Our Springpole Gold Project, about 5 million ounces, located about 100 kilometers from Red Lake, Ontario, and is one of the most advanced projects in Canada in the permitting and environmental assessment process. So we're targeting getting our environmental assessment approval at Springpole in Q1 or Q2 next year. So very near-term catalyst there. Our Duparquet Gold Project is located in the middle of the Abitibi Gold Belt in Quebec. 6 million ounces on that project to date, and we're still having very, very good exploration success at Duparquet. We'll talk about that. The resource is continuing to grow, but it's a past-producing mine in an area with amazing infrastructure. This just shows a little bit the location of our projects. You can see that's Springpole in Ontario, Duparquet in Quebec. Some of you may remember First Mining Gold was started by our founder Keith Neumeyer in 2015 as a mineral bank. So Keith and the team at the time acquired 8 different projects or companies in about 12 months and put together a very large portfolio of gold in Canada. Over the last few years, we've brought in partners on a lot of the smaller projects. We've created royalties on those smaller projects, and we've ended up turning those other projects in the portfolio into now $75 million of cash. And we've invested that cash really in 2 things: moving forward our Springpole project through the environmental assessment process, and ultimately targeting a feasibility study in 2026. And we acquired and have moved forward our Duparquet project in Quebec. So we're sitting today at a market cap of around 400 million Canadian dollars. You can see the shares outstanding at about 1.3 billion. We've just completed a financing in August of this year, so we have about $35 million of cash on the balance sheet today, and still have a number of those other assets which we will look to turn into cash over the next couple of years. But very well funded to see this company through the major milestones, particularly at Springpole, of this environmental assessment process next year. We've been picked up in the last 6 months by 2 new research analysts, one at Haywood and one at SCP Capital Partners. Average target price on the company is around 70 cents a share. We're trading at around 30 cents a share today. And a year ago, we were trading at 12 cents a share. So we've seen some significant share price increase already, but we are still trading at a value of about $20 an ounce of gold in the ground. Our peers with advanced stage projects in Canada, you can see here, trade at about $150 an ounce. So we think there's still a real opportunity to see the share price re-rate and see the share price increase to more reflect the fundamental value. And the real catalysts that we will see to make that share price move are really look around Springpole and around the environmental assessment approval. Again, that's kind of 6 to 9 months away. The one thing that we do know, we had the benefit of Ryan talking about some of the Equinox Gold projects. There's a bunch of those projects on this list that have been acquired at values that tend to be more than $500 million when you're looking at large Canadian projects. We have 2 projects that fit into that category in First Mining Gold. Remember that the acquisition price of all of these other large Canadian projects reflects a much lower gold price environment. So if you looked at what these projects would trade for in a $3,500 to $4,000 gold price environment, we think it would be much higher. The reality today, and one of the things that is really exciting about our projects in this portfolio, is that there are maybe 3 mines that can be permitted and put into construction in Canada, large mines, in the next 5 years. And our Spring Pole project really is one of them, one of the most advanced. So we submitted our final environmental assessment in November of last year. We've been through a public comment period. We're now finishing the comment response period with the regulators, and again, are expecting that environmental assessment decision in Q1 or Q2 of next year. So if you look just at the value of our existing studies, our study at Spring Pole reflects, that's about $1 billion US of value. But that study was done 4 years ago at a $1,600 gold price. And the gold price today is more than double where this study was done. Our Duparquet study was done 2 years ago at an $1,800 gold price. So the one thing that we do know about these projects is that large projects have significant leverage to the gold price. So every $100 on the gold price is $250 million US dollars of after-tax net present value to our shareholders. So, these studies were done now almost $2,000 ago. So you can pretty quickly put together, there's the number of that total net asset value per share today we think is much, much higher than that $1.50. We think at a $2,500 gold price, that would be something like $3 a share. At current spot price, that would be something like $7 a share. And you can buy these shares today for 30 cents Canadian. So significant value opportunity there. I'll just talk a little bit about the projects themselves. So this gives a bit of the location of Spring Pole. We're about 100 kilometers from Red Lake, Ontario, an established mining camp where they've been mining for 100 years. Good infrastructure in the area. We have roads up onto our project site and within about 18 kilometers of the project. Good proximity to power lines. There's lots of power in this part of Ontario, and we're well advanced in the process of securing grid power. What a lot of people don't appreciate, one of the real advantages, cost advantages of Canadian projects is the industrial cost of power is about 8 cents Canadian a kilowatt hour, which compares pretty favorably to, I know what some of my friends in Europe pay for power at their house. It's a lot more than that. We do have very effective and cost-effective access to clean, and this is, Ontario's grid is 95% clean energy as well. One of the things that is unique about Spring Pole is that it's a big mine. It can produce more than 300,000 ounces a year. Averages about 335,000 ounces over the main 9 years of its mine life. But one of the things that has always held back the share price has been a perception around the development of this project, because the deposit sits right now in the bay of a lake. So the development plan involves building 2 small dikes. Those total less than a kilometer long. They average only about 5 meters deep in the water there. The deepest point is 14 meters, so these are not really big structures in the context of building a mine. But this is the reason why many investors have wanted to wait until they've seen the environmental assessment that you can get the project permitted. We've always believed that we can get this project through an environmental assessment process, and I've been the CEO here since the beginning of 2019. This has been in the environmental assessment process since 2018, so we're now almost 8 years through this environmental assessment, and we're coming to the end of it. And we're very happy to be coming to the end of it, because it's been an exhaustive process. But that said, I think we've gone through a good process of building our social license and done a lot of really good fundamental technical work to advance this project, so we know that it can be built with minimal impact to the environment. And that's the important thing. So again, just in terms of timelines here, a very big catalyst. We're looking at that environmental assessment decision Q1, Q2 next year. And from there, there's another 18 months of permitting that you have to go through where you do detailed engineering on the project and apply for your construction permits. There's not really risk in getting those with the environmental assessment, but it does take time. But in that time, we finish up a feasibility study, you secure project financing for the project, and ultimately it would look to go into construction in late 2027 or early 2028. Making it really one of very few projects of this size and scale in Canada that can go into production in the next 5 years. Just a little bit, I won't spend a lot of time on the exploration opportunity at Springpole, only to state that it's going to continue to grow. We've already, last year, drilled a few holes just in this area to the east of the deposit and have found 100-meter intercepts of Springpole style and grade mineralization. So, this whole project is about 1.5 kilometers long. It's about 150 to 350 meters wide and about 500 meters deep. If we think that we've maybe stretched that by another 200 to 400 meters, you can see how that would increase considerably the total ounces in the project. A lot of that is sitting right now where we have discovered it. It's actually sitting inside the existing pit as waste. So we know that that will convert, and there's more gold that's going to come out of this. And on top of that, we've got control over about 70,000 hectares of the Birchuchi Greenstone Belt around Springpole. 3 drill-ready targets that have some existing drilling in them already, but really a generation of exploration opportunity around what will be one of the biggest mines in Canada. So that's Springpole. It's near term, it's very advanced in the environmental assessment process, and it really is a sizable, long life, low cost mine. Du Parquet, you don't have much time to talk about it. We always seem to leave it to the end, but this, I think, we're excited about Springpole. We're equally excited about Du Parquet. Right now, we've got 6 million ounces in resource around this past producing mine. It's located right in the middle of the Abitibi Gold Belt. It is literally halfway between the cities of Timmins and Val-d'Or. You have every mining contractor in the world and every mining supplier in the world within 150 kilometers of this project, power line and paved roads to site, and a town of 700 people that was built around the original mine in the 1930s. So, fantastic workforce. It's a great place to work. We're drilling at the project now, and we took the project through a preliminary economic assessment in 2023 that showed a decent return on, call it a 600 million net present value on a 700 million Canadian upfront capital. This is one of the highest grade open pit mines in Canada. Average open pit grade is about 1.4 grams at a 5-to-1 strip ratio. So that's important to understand. But again, the leverage to the gold price here, you can see we ran it up to about a $2,200 sensitivity. That obviously moved that IRR and NPV up significantly. So gold price will do wonderful things for this project as well, and would say Du Parquet alone more than justifies multiples of our current share price. And it's going to continue to grow. We're actively drilling here. We've drilled about 16,000 meters at Du Parquet already this year. We've only reported about 4,000 meters of that, so there's lots of assays still to come in and consistent news flow through the end of the year. But we're particularly excited about what we're finding in connecting some of these blank zones. So we know that resource connects between those 2 satellite deposits, and we're starting to find very, very interesting results in these contact zones with the main cyanitic ore body. So no one's ever really looked for these before, and that's one of the things that's very interesting about the discoveries that we're having here. We think that it is going to continue to grow at 6 million ounces today. We think it's a very clear path to see how this could get to 10 million ounces at Du Parquet. And again, something that we think you could start into a permitting process in the near term. So our goal would be moving this to pre-feasibility study stage in 2026 and just starting to get the work plans together to be ready to do that. So I think that's all I have time for. If you have any questions, you can find it on our website, www.firstmininggold.com, or come by and see us at the booth sort of towards the front there. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to see the presentation today, and thank you very much.